excited for their kid's next milestone. Whether it's rolling, walking, talking, crawling, we all get pretty excited for it. Another milestone that every kid hits is turning their child from rear-facing to forward-facing. But when is the correct time to do that? The law says at 1 year, 20 pounds, you can turn your child around forward-facing. Okay, that makes car rides easier. The kid stops crying the whole time, which is a really good thing. You can pick up things that they drop all the time. But is your kid really safe forward-facing at a year? Kind of, but they could be a lot safer rear-facing. I did a survey among my Facebook friends. Not a great population, but it's a population I had access to. And I asked them what reasons they turned their kid around forward-facing. And the three most common reasons I got was their kid was not comfortable rear-facing. They couldn't afford a car seat that would keep their kid rear-facing for a longer period of time other than the infant car seat. And forward-facing is just as safe as rear-facing anyway, so what difference does it make? We're going to go through these three reasons, which are common myths about rear-facing and forward-facing, and we're going to debunk these myths. The first one, rear-facing is just as safe as forward-facing, isn't it? No, not at all. Your baby, up until they turn 2 years old, your toddler still has cartilage in between their bones and their back. Cartilage is stretching. It's not, their bones have not hardened as they would if they were, say, 4 years old. So when you get into a wreck, your body travels towards that point of impact. And 60% of all car crashes are frontal impacts, says the NHTSA. So if your kid is forward-facing, if you get hit from the front, your kid's going to go towards that point of impact. Their neck is traveling, their back is traveling. So you're stretching that cartilage. Your cartilage can stretch up to 2 inches. It only takes a 1/4 inch stretch for that to snap your spinal cord in a toddler. When your kid is rear-facing, if you get hit from the front, your kid's going, but they're going into the seat. So the seat has absorbed all the energy from that crash before distributing any of it to the kid, which is keeping their neck in line, it's keeping their back in line, which is reducing the risk of rupturing their spinal column. Another thing, comfort. You put your kid, let's think, your kid's playing throughout the day. When you see your kid sitting down and playing, where are their legs? Usually they're not standing straight out in front of them or whatever. I know when my daughter plays, her feet are usually curled up into her. She's sitting Indian style. Her legs are behind her. Regardless, they're not straight in front of her, or they're not hanging off the edge of a seat, say a chair or a couch. Kids are really flexible. You find kids sleeping in the weirdest positions. They're upside down, they're hanging off of this, whatever. So that flexibility actually works with them. In a car seat, when they're rear-facing, their legs get long, they're hanging off the seat. Where do they go? They can kick them over the sides. They can fold them Indian style in the seat in front of them. They can kick their legs and fold them up against the rear seat of your vehicle. All of that's fine. In the event of a crash, you're saying, wait, my kid's legs are out of their car seat. Isn't that unsafe? In the event of a crash, your kid may suffer a broken leg or a broken hip. Put a cast on it. It takes a little bit of time, but you can fix a broken leg and a broken hip. If your kid is forward-facing in that same crash, that could break their spinal cord. You can't fix a broken spinal cord. That's paralysis. That's death. Those are all things that could have been prevented had you have just kept your child rear-facing. I know most people are on a budget. I'm on a budget. And when you think of buying a new car seat, you look at the price of them. That's $150. That's $200. That's $300. But what's the difference? They all pretty much do the same thing. But the $300 car seat has bells and whistles. It's a little more comfortable with padding. It's got a cup holder. It's got this, that, and the other. You can buy a car seat that's less than $50, like the Costco Sonera. It will rear-face your child for up to 35 pounds and 36 inches. That takes your average kid up to about 2.5 years. So you could easily rear-face your kid past 2 for less than $50. I know when I looked at it, it was about $35, $40. And you can find different deals on different car seats to make one that you like a little cheaper. There's a Facebook page and a group called Car Seats for the Littles. They have a website, they have a Facebook, and it's full of car seat technicians from all over, for every state, every country, whatever. You can go on there, let them know, hey, this is my budget. I have $150 to spend on a car seat. My kid is 2 years and 42 pounds, and this is the kind of car that I drive. This technician will link you with the best car seat that will keep your kid rear-facing for however long you want your kid to rear-face for. Say you want them to go to 4 years old. They can recommend a car seat in your budget that will fit in your car correctly, help you get a good install, and keep your kid as safe as possible. So although the law says a year and 20 pounds, you're like, yeah, my kid will be there quickly, and I can turn them around, and everything's easier. As parents, we always want our kids to be as safe as possible, whether you're the one keeping them safe or somebody else is keeping them safe. So seeing that you have that power, why would you not keep your kid as safe in a car as you are in the car? You wouldn't go sitting in a car where you know you're not going to be strapped in and buckled in as safe as you can be. Your seatbelt doesn't work or whatever. Why would you want the same thing for your kid?